That's like 1:30. We just made it to Machu Picchu town, Aguas Calientes. We have our raincoats on because it's a little wet. Surprise, surprise. If it stays like this, it'll be okay. Hopefully it will not become a downpour because that's going to be a problem.
This is Aguas Calientes, the town that sits below Machu Picchu. It's also where we meet our private bus that takes us the final leg of the journey, around 30 minutes, up to Machu Picchu. Immediately upon arrival at the entrance, you see why the private tour was worth the cost. No waiting in line for any bus, the entrance, and you don't even have to pay to go to the bathroom.
So one thing to consider, not on my tour, you got to pay $2 to go to the bathroom. They don't have a bathroom inside of Machu Picchu, so go while you can is what I say.
The guide takes it easy, which comes in handy later, but really, because of the elevation, Machu Picchu sits at around 7,972 feet of elevation, 1,600 feet above the river valley floor. But it's not just the elevation that has me breathing hard. I'm holding my breath, hoping the view is clear.
And so we have our first view. Sort of. It depends on how fast the clouds are moving.
But the guide is familiar with the weather here in Machu Picchu, and he slows down as we descend, although I'm losing hope.
So unfortunately, we're here during the rainy season. And this is the gamble you take. I'd be lying if I said I wasn't super disappointed. If it was just a little bit clearer, it would have been perfect. Dramatic skies, the clouds, but one of the best parts of taking the Hiram Bingham train is that we have a guide included in the price. So, I mean, it's really all-inclusive, and he's had some really interesting facts to tell us about Machu Picchu throughout this walk.
Why we believe the Incas built Machu Picchu exactly in this area, right? The first one is because behind of the mountain located through there, the Incas founded like a two natural water fountains, right?
His pace helps our hike, but eventually it does take our breath away as finally the clouds clear, just enough for a view I've been dreaming about since history class as a child.
I'm so relieved. The rain has moved away, the clouds have moved out. Now the sky is so dramatic. I think it's beautiful, like composition with the puffy white clouds, the mountain, and Machu Picchu, the lost city. We're here, we found it.
After we appease the modern gods of social media, I can just enjoy the magnificence of Machu Picchu. Built in the 15th century, it was occupied for less than 100 years. Rediscovered by an amateur archaeologist, Hiram Bingham. In 1911, real archaeologists have spent the last century piecing together this enigmatic site.
So the beauty of the city, of course, it's obvious. What's not obvious, nobody knows, is exactly why this place was built. One guess is that it's because there's a lot of stone to quarry. Incas were master builders. They were able to fit stones so tightly without mortar, and that allows them to have structures that survived earthquakes. Machu Picchu, for instance, is built along 2 fault lines, and it survived all these years. Amazing.
The main working theories are that Machu Picchu was either a ceremonial site, a military stronghold, or just a royal retreat. We do know for sure it is a masterful example of Incan architecture.
You can tell that this construction is actually original because there's no mortar used in between. It's just rocks fit together at different angles. It's kind of a hallmark of construction with the Inca Empire. It's incredible.
Machu Picchu was founded between the 70 and 80% original, right? We believe the Spanish maybe never founded Machu Picchu, right? We believe that for two hypotheses. The first one is because, unfortunately, when the Spanish founded any local place, first one they destroy it, right? They build the shores, the cathedrals, or the chapels. Here everything is original.
And it was all built without the use of steel, iron, or even the wheel.
So you can see the jungle down below, how thick it is, and that's what covered this entire ruin when Hiram Bingham first saw it back in 1911. Of course, ever since then it's been cleared away, and it continues to be excavated as archaeologists make more and more discoveries about this ancient city.
Over 600 terraces make up the city, some for agricultural purposes, but scientists say the main purpose is to just keep Machu Picchu from sliding down into the river valley itself. The Incans built symbiotically with nature. They worshipped nature. You can see their reverence, for instance, of Huayna Picchu, the mountain that sits in the distance.
An interesting fact, Huayna Picchu, 27 minutes. Somebody's able to run up that from right here, 11 minutes to get down. Typically it's at least 2 to 4 hours. For me it'd be like 5.
With no written language, ironically, much of what we piece together today came from that amateur archaeologist Hiram Bingham's expedition in 1912.
So everything we know from Machu Picchu is what we've been able to dig out of the ground. So our train's namesake, Hiram Bingham, when he was here, he discovered a lot of tools and pottery. So this part of Machu Picchu is known as the artisan area. It's where the artisans who basically built the city, and they had, designed the tools and the everyday items that people use. This is the part of the city that they lived, according to what they found when they dug underground. Not a bad view.
The rain increased with the afternoon, and we see the exit. I honestly need another day to explore this lost city.
At least I can walk through here.
I feel honored when I get the chance to look through a window into the past, especially one that's shrouded in 500 years of mystery like this modern wonder of the world, Machu Picchu.